Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to my bonsai retreat. And no, we're not going to be doing this juniper. I've been looking at it though and dreading the starting. But what you're here for is to see part 2 of this incredible collaboration with Kenneth de Bond of KDB Bonsai. It's been 18 months worth of work, and I'm going to say this to you now. There's a massive switchover surprise that takes up, well, some point through the video. And the reason why it's such a surprise is because I completed this video a week earlier, looked at it and went, that just ain't gonna cut it. But you're gonna have to watch on and work out when the big switch happens, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Anyway, enough of that. Listen to me as I work through my mind and thought processes, so there's a lot more thinking and discussing what I can possibly do.
That sounds really boring.
So anyway, take the time, it's going to be worth it, and definitely you need to be there for the big switcheroo, because I think it's a doozy. But you let me know in the comments. So, over to me a week ago. Well, welcome back to my retreat. If you persisted with part 1, thank you very much, and please, I just push you, have a look at Kenneth de Bond Bonsai. He was one of the originals, absolutely brilliant, and I know he'd appreciate your support. Did I get very far with this? I was originally going to do this video as one sort of 28 minutes, something like that, but this has got a long way to go. What I'm going to say to you though, it's healthy, which means lots of options are still open to me. So should we talk about them?
I make my own options.
There's no way around it. No matter how much Kenneth and I tried to do with this, there is an absolute pain of a problem with it. And I don't think any amount of bending or wedge cuts will solve it. Now the original aim, and certainly where Kenneth was trying to go with this, was to create a more traditional sort of bonsai with branches down here, and this angle here was always shown as is acute when it's less than 45, and we've never been able to get past the fact that we've got something that's already greater than 90, and we did some extreme bending on it. You know what, it hasn't worked, and we still have this problem where what we look like we've got is some great giant Scots Pine end about to take a big step. What's worse is that through time I've also created a little 90-degree bend here as well. So we've ended up gotten this cup shape. Even if I continue to bring this down, I've still got this. This is very fixed now. I could try take a wedge out of there, but all that would do is I've still got this corner here. I would just close, it just would look so unnatural.
Wow, that's really messed up.
So what do I propose to do about it? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get this wire off, because it's biting in, and let's not create too many more problems. I mean, part of this was demonstrating how tension wires can work, and we certainly did that. A little bit of bite in there, it's not too bad. And that tension, that's been on for nearly 9 months. So let's talk about the positive, shall we? The first positive is look at all this healthy growth shoots that we've got on all the branches, including this little one here that's healthy down here. Even this branch here, which I said to you I may well remove, got there, got buds there and there. We've actually got some very workable stuff there. Loads. I mean, it's absolutely astounding just how much more extra thick growth we've got to work with. And the reason why that's brilliant is because it's telling me, unlike 18 months ago, this is extremely healthy, very vigorous. It means the roots in there are strong, and it means that I can take away a lot of growth once I decide on the style I want. So I can probably make a really big leap forward on this. First thing, the big option, really go wild on it. Do we take away all of that upper growth and try to create something with this, and do a cascade on it Potentially we could bend stuff up here. Is that one of the options we can take? Probably not that way. The only issue I've got is that once we remove that, unless we create a horrible... See, that would we could hide that from there, but what we haven't got up there is anywhere to build a crown. But what's the downside with that? All this healthy growth up here that we've got, we'd be losing it. Now the second thing to look at, is there any way I can salvage what I've already been trying to do and try and create that existing structure that Kenneth was designing for me? You know, more wiring, bringing these further down, potentially still creating that sort of branch here, branch there, apex up here. You know, it's definitely an option. But what's the elephant in the room on that one?
Kyle, what's that elephant doing?
No matter how much we bend or wire this, I can't do anything about that. All I can do is hide it. Potentially remove this lower aspect so that it's not as perhaps not as obvious. Or I could do something entirely different. Now, those of you who know me and know this channel know that I often go for the entirely different and not the entirely popular method of going for it. Do you know what I'm thinking about doing?
No.
It sort of came along as I was looking at just how flexible this was. And I can't change that. But maybe, looking at different angles, I can move this down enough that this almost comes up. Well, I suppose it's really on the hiding it scale. Got a few bits of growth here, take them up, move stuff across, around, and really heavily wire it. I am also aware of the video that Yellow Growing Bonsai recently did, where he did some approach grafts on the underside of Scots Pines, and it took, 18 months for them to set. But I think I'm still unsure. What I do know is that if I go for cascading it, I need to put wire on this, and if I go for this abstract shape up here, I need to put wire over all of it. So I'm left with the two options. I'm going for the complete abstract rewire or the cascade, and the reality is I can plan for both. So I am going to potentially wire that out for a cascade, but also look at what I can do with this, because do you know what? Maybe if I remove that branch, this could become either interesting literati, and actually just remove the problem branch. That comes down a bit further. Okay, I've sort of wrapped loads of wire on this main part. I've either got two options with this bend here. I either move it so that it's more up that way, so it actually points up first and then comes down, or I actually push that further down so it actually looks more like it's coming down more. And if that's going to be the cascade, probably want it to come down more, I suppose. I've wired this up, this will need to come down, and again I'll be looking to manipulate these and around. Do you know, there's so many healthy branches on this, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out, so I'm going to just start applying the twists. Again, I'm always following the direction that the wire's bending in. And ultimately what I want to do is try and have the candles all pointing upwards. And you notice I've got great big bits of wire here, mainly because I haven't cut them. I haven't wrapped them tightly around there, because what I don't want to do is cause too much damage to any existing needles that are there. A bit of pad going up there, so let's have a look. And it's always being aware, and this is the sort of thing you've got to watch out for. even looking really closely, what I didn't see is down here there's another nice healthy bud that's starting to sprout. So I want to stay clear. So the wire is literally going to just stay loosely to there. So you've always got to be watching out where you've potentially got more buds and more potential growth. Now, for those of you who've watched any wiring videos and bending videos, it's very difficult to get across the different movements I'm trying to make without just getting in your way and all that. So I'm going to save the hassle. I'm going to have a bit of a play with this, come back to you when I've got a shape I like. Okay, well you probably can't tell, but I've actually been wiring away for about half an hour, trying to get everything upwards. Looking now, the front's in here, there's only a small gap opening there, but I haven't actually cut back any of these candle pairs. Just created a few little upward here and here, so I think we can ignore, well, I haven't done anything with that yet. What I do need to do is I recognise that there's a great big heavy branch here I'm just going to get rid of. And I'm not removing this yet, because as I said, I'm still debating about wiring this lower part up, potentially as a fail-safe cascade. So I'll do that in a minute. But imagine all that lower half gone, and more growing out here from these candles, and here. Potentially there's the line of the tree with the apex coming up here. What I am going to do is just start cutting some of these. We've got two here, so I'm going to cut a few of these needle things back. I've got here, I'm going to cut this right back, just a few needle pairs. That's the main top. I'll let that grow on. I'm just going to cut them all right back to sort of probably about six to 8 pairs on the new growth. And hopefully what that will do is cause these very healthy roots to send out either new buds from the new needles that are left there to set the buds for next year. I'll cut that right back. And there is probably still potential for a front there as well. So all we're going to do with these is just cut all of these back now. Well, like it or not, this is my solution for now. I've been doing a lot of manipulating on it. I know there are people out there going, Zav, what have you done? In fact, you haven't done anything different. Whoa, beep beep, back the truck up. Do you know what I've just realised? If we go back to what, minute 5? I think I said something along the lines of, quote, entirely different. Well, look, I've actually finished the video. It's a week later. I'm looking back at it going, it's pretty well the same thing, but just a bit healthier. I have to do something different. I have to do something about this. I can't inflict this misery on you any longer. So let's do a different sort of misery, shall we? But I wonder what. I mean, yeah, sure, I could let this all grow out, let it grow bigger and better, and maybe bring stuff down here and balance it. But I keep saying it, I keep referring to it, I keep looking at it. I don't like that. It's never going to look right. So, originally I said to you, do you know what? I think I said it about 9, minute 10. What happens if I remove all that and then restyle from this and try and create a more feminine literati style? So I went away and had a look at a few pictures. Now, the issue I had with this is that it's pretty well taperless, and that's why perhaps I saw such an issue with trying to do something even literati down here. So I'm going to bite the bullet. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Quickly, answers down in the comments, because in about 3 seconds you're going to see me do something to that. I actually think there's quite a bit of potential up in this top area, and whether I can get some of these branches to come further down. This one I'm actually directing it down, we'll see what happens with that. There's branches here which can also be directed downwards, so I've got the potential to create a literati format. I need to do something with that perhaps is going to complement it or certainly draw the eye to it, and hopefully do something about that. Now, I could remove this bottom part, but truthfully that's the issue. So either remove it entirely, or maybe I can do a bit of something that I saw a while ago from Dan Barton with extreme bending on Deadwood using pliers and a flamethrower. So I'm going to see just how much of a difference I can do. But to do that, first of all, living tissue all has to be removed. But the first thing I'm going to do is recognise that I won't be using any of these bits of lovely live so I've cut them all off. I don't know how far I'll take this. I don't know how much I'll be able to do with this. Let's crush this and see if we can get some of this Scots Pine skin off, shall we? Give it a darn good squishing, and hopefully with all the juices going on in there, you'll be able to strip that back down to nice fleshy parts, and hopefully make the art of stripping this off 100% easier. There it is. And again, if you've got a live tree, so to speak, this is the easiest way to strip all that bark off. So I'm going to keep going around, squeezing as I go, removing all this lovely bark. Well, that's all been peeled off, and that's all come off, and it took me about 10 minutes to just get all that off. A little bit of blades on a knife to get this off. And I think even I can see already by just doing something as simple as that, and I know this is more extreme, there's the potential to give a very, very interesting branch, but it doesn't look anywhere near as heavy. So it's not drawing your eye as much to that bend. Now I could split here and take a little bit out of the bottom, but let's just see what happens when I apply the flame to it and how easy it bends. You're supposed to just hold it in place. That bend is still there. I've actually taken a small chunk out of there actually. I'm tempted to wire this actually. I think I might do that. I think the key is to actually be holding it a bit longer. You'll probably find there's people in the comments and you know I'm not very patient, and there's raindrops falling on my head. It's typical, raindrops are falling right now. So if the answer was to hold it longer, I'm sorry, the rain's forcing me inside. I'm going to have to put some wire on this. I'll come back to you when I've wrapped some wire around it. Okay, I've chucked a bit of wire on it. I've actually increased the bend a little bit as well on the main trunk. This will need to be wired up, and there's a little bit of wiring on there. I think the front is put so it reduces the angle a little bit on it. Don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Just continue to. What I'm doing now really is getting off all the crispy bits, all the loose ends. Probably a little bit long, some of these. Just splitting them a bit. Okay. I mean, certainly it's an interesting. I think trying to change how that feature's going to be does make a difference. So now when I get more growth up here or further down, I can certainly take more off the top here. I might just have a little look and see if I can do that now. But initially, any thoughts on the direction I took? Is it another one of those times of, no Xav, no you don't do things like that? Well, I've managed to get myself back out here. We had a 2-hour rain break, and I can't decide. I've done a bit of moving about with the branching and wiring, and I know that probably some of the experts out here that are going, chop this off, chop this off, chop this off, and really chop it back. Well, do you know what, if you're saying that, I'm going to give it a spin. I want you to write down at what time and what branches you think I should be chopping off, because I said to you, I am still learning and getting better at understanding design and development for these things. But the key here is what I have got is loads and loads of buds on this, and again, 18 months ago I did some big work on it, and I found that they flush out and then I can go at it again. Main thing is this. Now, we all know Adam of Notion Bonsai. Well, a few months ago he sent me some of his sulphur. So I'm going to be just doing a bit of staining on that. And I know some of you say, well, you've already burnt it, there's wire on it. Well, I want to use this and see how it works, his lime sulphur. Oh, lovely smell of eggs. So let's get this done first. So there it is. Oh, look at that. You need to come in close and see this. Now I've given it a good shake, but the stuff that I've been using, and for those of you who've watched any of my videos, I put this stuff on and it doesn't come out this lovely yellow colour. So I don't know if he's put some saffron, maybe he's put some saffron in it to give it this sort of yellow dye colour, but that is so much better than what I've been using up till now. Now, yes, I know, because I've got wire on, we're obviously going to get some banding marks as well. But just for giving me an idea, an impression, and you're not going to believe this, I've just felt a drop of rain. Again, am I never going to get this video finished? In fact, mind you, there's probably a load of you saying, is he ever going to get this blasted video finished? But I'll tell you what, very happy with Adam's Lime Sulphur. Cheers, mate. Well, there it is. And yeah, we can deal with that at a later stage. I am so glad I made that change and I made that decision. You know, you won't see the last 5 minutes of the original video, and the original video had this branch all being wired out a bit, and it just didn't solve it. So, you know, it may not be everyone's solution, but I'm certainly glad I've given it a go. I like this Deadwood, so I'm going to give it a spin, and let's just mark where I think the front, sort of there, we'll say about there. So we'll give that a spin, just as a lawnmower start. And I did also suggest there might be a front around there. So let me know what you think. Hopefully the sun glare's not too bad off my off my bald spot. But I think what this has definitely done is changed the dynamic of the whole development. Yep, I'm hoping that what I'm going to be able to do is to bring more down this way. Potentially what I need is more growth, because I want back budding here so that I can get stuff here maybe. And then I think there is going to have to be some reduction at the top. Where exactly will depend on probably where at the final front is. But I don't know. You tell me, what do you think? I'm much happier now, a week after finishing this video, and hopefully you are too. Well, that was definitely a surprise for me. Yeah, the trying to bend it and hold the bending down with the blowtorch didn't work. The main reason I didn't persist with that is it started to rain, and because I'd stripped it, I needed to do what I was going to do pretty well straight away. I've looked back over the video and it is a case, you just hold the flame up, it breaks the molecules down of the living tissue that's in there, and then resets in the position you hold it. I think I have to hold it a bit longer. And I think rather than me finishing off like this, why don't I give you a bit of a cheesy look at how it was originally going to finish, and you tell me whether I made a right or a wrong decision. But for now, I'm going to settle on that, and hopefully some of you will say, yeah, well done, great stuff. Anyway, I've had enough with this pine, so if you've liked or enjoyed watching me struggle through this, then please at least give me a big thumbs up. You don't have to agree with what I've done to like the way I presented it. And as the pigeons mate in the background, I'll also ask you to humbly subscribe or share this. Actually, find someone who's worse at pine than me and share it with them, and that may make their day a little better.
That was the best idea you ever had.
So, from the Bonsai Retreat, hope you've enjoyed this 18-month adventure. It has a long way to go yet, and I'm going to need your help. So please fill those comments up with whatever you think. And happy bonsai, and God bless. Cheers.